he pauses for a second, and then he stops and gets in. Or Dory Jackson's one of the best young DBs in this league, but he had his hands full up against one of the best wide receivers in this league. The Colts, they roll 38-10. Andrew Luck, MVP conversation? I say so.
Ooh, they have won 4 straight. They're in a 5-way tie for the last AFC wildcard spot, I do believe. Triggs, am I right?
5-way tie? I love
it. It's amazing.
That's
pretty messy. Let's bring in the rap sheet. Ian Rappaport. There he is. Perfect guy to answer my Marcus Mariota question because he set out the second half after injuring his throwing arm again. Is this a new issue? Is it a flare-up? What's going on?
It sounds, Kay, like it's a flare-up of the old issue. And remember, earlier on the season, he missed a couple games, ended up being a backup in one game after sitting out the previous game, then coming in with some nerve damage, ulnar nerve damage in his throwing elbow. Basically, Mariota could not properly grip the ball well enough to throw a football, which obviously is something that is pretty important to do. And then he came on. He actually wore a glove to kind of deal with some of the grip issues. It took about a month for him to get right. It does seem like some of these same issues. You could see him on the field. Actually, you're about to see it right here. Clasping and unclasping his hand, seemed to have lost feeling in some of that throwing hand. Obviously, this is something that they're going to monitor going forward, and Mike Vrabel did not have any definitive updates on Mariota's status after the game. But if this is a repeat of last game, then we might be seeing a lot more of Blaine Gabbert going forward for the Titans, which he's fine, but obviously it's not what you want to see when you have Mariota looking on from the sidelines.
Good stuff from Ian Rappaport. They will talk to you throughout the show back here at the breakfast table. I'm just so impressed with what this Colts team's doing. I sort of likened Andrew Luck through this stretch that they have, these 4 wins, as Superman changing into his costume in front of the city instead of going and hiding somewhere to do it and nobody really talking about it. Yeah. I'm glad people finally are. And he has this awesome streak going now, 7 games with 3 or more touchdowns. Only Peyton Manning and Tom Brady have more. He's tied with Dan Marino. He's breaking all these records and looking awesome in a division that sort of can be still up for grabs.
Yeah, and I think the people of Metropolis forgot about Superman. There's an actual article posted in The Ringer, and the headline was, Andrew Luck is back. Does anybody care? And it was like, they're in Indianapolis. They started bad. Andrew Luck's a bygone thing. It's Pat Mahomes' division now. Pat Mahomes is the prince. Andrew Luck was beating the Chiefs in the playoffs when Patrick Mahomes was on the pitcher's mound. You forget that this was the superstar of the AFC. I love everything he's doing. Frank Reich, it couldn't be more perfect for him to start behind and make a comeback. This team has such a head of steam. The 2 players in the NFL playing better than Andrew Luck right now are Drew Brees and maybe Patrick Mahomes. I say maybe after yesterday. He is that good and that hot. I love what the Colts are doing. Give them the AFC wildcard right now. Right? I don't think they can catch the Texans. Wildcard right now.
Kyle, why were you so high on them, though? Because
I remember how good Luck is.
I remember you looking in the camera and saying, mark it right now. This wasn't just last week.
They were 2-5, I think.
Yeah, and you said, no, Andrew Luck is playing that good. What did you see?
The only question was, did Luck have it or not? I remember they took Luck out for a Hail Mary and put in Jacoby Brissett. Concerns. I remember football before 2014. I remember how good Luck was. And the second we saw that Luck has the arm back, best quarterback in the division, that's all I need to see. He's unbelievable. I believe in him, and it's making me look
Last
good.
year, the Saints had this draft class where they got Lattimore and Kamara and Ramczyk. That's this Colts draft class.
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson's awesome. He's an all-pro guard. Darius Leonard, you were talking about Leighton Vander Esch. Darius Leonard is the best defensive rookie in the league. And they have all these different complementary guys. They're building this team from the inside out, and Andrew Luck looks upright. This could be a team to not reckon with this year, but for the next 10 years. They look awesome right now.
Yeah,
getting back quickly to T.Y. Hilton in that locker room, he said that I'm going to go for $150 and 2 TDs. That's an encouragement to everybody out there. Speak things into existence. And speaking of that, I remember players that played with Andrew Luck in the past speaking things into existence, saying only if we can protect him, only if we can get some more playmakers, you'll really get to see how good he is. And finally, those things that were spoken, they're in existence now. He has protection. He's not getting hit. And the playmakers are healthy around him. I was talking with Phil Simms yesterday, and he is saying, never judge a guy when he's hurt because you'll never get to appreciate everything that he stands for. Same thing with Andrew Luck, same thing with T.Y. Hilton. 2 of their best players on the field at almost 100%, and they are absolutely lights out. And I'll say it again. If you're going to talk MVP, mention Andrew Luck's name.
They're 5-5, but I love that you mentioned Quentin Nelson's name in this. You're looking at a guy, people are stepping up. Eric Ebron had 3 touchdowns last week. He didn't score this week at all, and they still looked awesome and put up close to 40 points because of guys like T.Y. Hilton, because of guys like Marlon Mack, who has 5 touchdowns the last 4 games, benefiting from that offensive line and everything that they're doing.